What is a torque? Torque is the force that can cause an object to rotate about an axis, or it is what causes an object to acquire angular acceleration. Almost every day we encounter torque, and one of the most common applications of torque is in our everyday vehicles. Torque in vehicles is the force that the piston and engine put on the crankshaft, causing it and the wheels to turn. Torque is the measure of how powerful a car can be. Now this is a horizontal piston of a vehicle's engine, and notice that the point where it rotates is the axis of rotation. The significance of this is that the rotation is what accounted for the torque. Torque can also be encountered when we are opening a door, from the action of turning the doorknob to pushing the door, which causes the door to rotate around its hinges. Now what is the relation between torque and cross product? It is the direction. That's because the torque is denoted by the equation T equal to R cross product F sine theta. R is a representation of distance from the axis of rotation, while F is a force. And this can only determine the magnitude of torque. But in the occasion of cross product, the same formula can be applied because they are of the same derivation. However, in cross product, the equation is denoted by the vector A cross product vector B equal to the magnitude of vector A times magnitude of vector B sine theta times a third vector, that's the vector n. That means we can find both the magnitude and direction of torque. Now, the direction can be determined through the usage of a right-handed system. The direction here will be a vector n that is perpendicular to both vector A and B. In this case, the vector n is the third vector in the tree space, while the other two vectors will form a plane. As you can see, all of these vectors have some sort of representation and application of torque, so please remember them. Now, given the questions, we are required to find the torque and its direction. Just imagine it as the magnitude of the torque. Just imagine it as application of a wrench loosening or tightening a nut. Now, given a red line of 10 meters, it represents the distance from the axis of rotation to where a 30-degree force that's acting towards the R. So how do we find the magnitude of the torque? By simply substituting all the values that were given by the diagram into the equation of torque, and you will get a resultant 35 newtons of torque. But how do we find the direction? Now, the direction can be found by using the right-handed system. Now, in this case, when you are using the right-handed systems, your index finger will represent the R, while your middle finger will represent where the F is pointing. Naturally, your thumb will point towards a certain direction. Now, in this case, it will point outwards from the paper, or from the representation of 3D diagram, it's pointing upwards. Now, the reason why the torque equation uses sine for the force, because the force has to be acting 90 degrees towards the R. It is what makes torque true. And that's it. Thank you for tuning in.
Created using Powtoon.